Okay, welcome back, creatures of the night, as we finally put an end to the Batista rivalry with the Elimination Chamber at No Way Out 2008 and TLC Cheers match in 2009. We finally put a nail in this coffin of this wonderful, amazing rivalry of the Undertakers, and I wouldn't choose anybody else to be with me here. As always, Keegan Dimitrovic from Twitter. Thank you again for joining me as we finally put an end to the Batista rivalry. We feel like we've been here for over 3 years. We feel like we've been through the entire rivalry as it transpired all those years in person, but we are finally here at the end. So how are you doing? What's new? And are you ready to put this behind us?
Yes, I am ready to put it behind us, even though I've loved every single match that Taker Batista have had, and I'm doing fine. Busier than I thought I was going to be during my time off of university, just setting stuff up to get ready for my third year and sending in creative writing applications to stay in that program and things of that nature. So it's been a bit busier than I thought, but I still always have time to do interviews, especially when it's about the Undertaker. So I'm here and I'm ready to get this Batista stuff done and then move on to the next one.
Nice. Yes, that is what we are here for. We are here to talk The Undertaker, and we are here to talk with one of his greatest rivals, one of his greatest rival matches. That was the Batista rivalry that spanned 2.5 years. We started at Royal Rumble 2007, which kicked it off. Undertaker and Batista fighting Shawn Michaels and John Cena at No Way Out a year prior to this match. Gets us to WrestleMania. Then we're at Cyber Sunday. We're at Survivor Series. We're at Armageddon. And it brings us right here to No Way Out 2008, the SmackDown Elimination Chamber, to see who will fight the World Heavyweight Champion Edge at WrestleMania. And this has a chamber full of, quite the interesting characters. Because you have Undertaker, Batista starting off the match. But surrounding them is MVP, Finlay, Big Daddy V, and Great Khali. So you kind of have a feeling that it's basically the Undertaker and Batista. Who's going to really win this match? It's just the 4 hurdles around them.
Yeah, well, Finlay and MVP are great workers, but I think at that time creatively, it was either going to be Taker or Batista who was going to face Edge at WrestleMania. So it was really a 2-person match at that time, and well, it was a great sequence. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, and like I said, Undertaker starting out the chamber. This is his first chamber match, and he's kicking it right off. He's not waiting in a pod like he does in the next 2 years. He's starting it off, and he will finish it with how they start. So enough talking about the match. Let us get started. We are on Peacock and the network, respectively, at 30 minutes, 54 seconds, as just about the Undertaker is about to raise the lights. So are you ready?
Absolutely. Let's do it.
I am ready. So we do 3, 2, 1, play. Undertaker has removed his entrance garments. He is raising the lights, and he is ready to do battle in his first Elimination Chamber.
Man, he was in great shape here.
But what is an Elimination Chamber? Basically a more oval Hell in the Cell.
That's pretty much what it is. It's too bad that they reshaped it and all, but I wish they wouldn't have, because I like the original round chamber.
Yeah, I do too.
It looked a bit more menacing, and it just had a charm to it. Whereas, I don't know, I don't like when stuff's tampered with. I like it the way it is. Don't fix it if it ain't broken.
Mm-hmm. Undertaker closing the cage door just like he would do in Hell in the Cell. And like I said, you got Batista and Undertaker starting it off, and as it will be, Batista and the Undertaker finishing it off. So these two, they make the entire match.
And they always have great matches together. So it's always okay to have Taker and Batista either going on last or going on first, no matter where they are.
Any memories of this match when it was happening? Did you see this live?
I can't remember if I saw this one live or not, because I usually back in the day we were all frugal, right? So we only usually ordered the big four.
Okay.
But I remember the finish like it was yesterday, because I remember as a kid watching the finish and being mesmerized because it was such a, I'm not going to spoil it for anybody, but it was a really great finish.
Oh
And
yeah.
I remember the MVP spot too with Taker. That was
Mhm.
the other spot I remember too. So I'm not going to say it what that spot was for those who haven't watched, even though this match is 14 years old, but it was pretty unique spot. But like you said too, there's a lot of diversity in this match, right? Like you have two big men in Viscera, well, Big Daddy V here, and the Great Khali, and then you have two other big men, but in different ways, in Taker and Batista, and then you have the brawler in Finley, and then you have the all-rounder and MVP. So it's definitely a unique contrast of styles. And I believe too, this was this an ECW and SmackDown combined chamber?
Yes.
I think Viscera was an ECW at this time, wasn't he? And Khali was just basically on every show.
Yeah, I think Viscera and yeah, Viscera is definitely from ECW.
Yeah, I think he was at ECW in this time. Then I think at the
At
draft.
this time, Finley may have been as well. In '08, he may have been.
Oh yeah, because on in 06 and 07, Finley was on SmackDown, right?
Yeah, so he may have been ECW, MVP, Undertaker, and Batista SmackDown. Like you said, Khali, I think he was all around.
Those guys are SmackDown originals, man. All three of them. MVP made his name on SmackDown, debuted on SmackDown, and did some good stuff on that show. And Taker's obviously Mr. SmackDown. You know, I don't care what anybody says. You can say that The Rock is Mr. SmackDown when The Rock was never even on the SmackDown roster. He was always on Raw, even though he invented the SmackDown show, you know, or the name. But Undertaker's Mr. SmackDown. And then Eddie Guerrero's probably, no, Kurt Angle's probably number 2, and then Eddie Guerrero number 3.
Undertaker wearing the SmackDown colors on his logo. He's got blue today.
I love that logo, man.
We need an Undertaker figure of this era.
Hey, San Diego Comic-Con's coming up next week.
I know. I just said it in my newest episode. I would love if this was in the Ruthless Aggression line that they're doing.
They just made that line, right? Yeah, with Brock and Shawn and Batista, right? Is that the first line?
That's the first wave. Second wave is Booker T, RVD, and Mysterio. I mean, you gotta have Undertaker, and I want this era of Undertaker.
I'm for sure getting the Shawn one from WrestleMania 23. Absolutely getting that one. That's a great figure. But they need to make more Takers. Like I want a Taker from WrestleMania 20, like with the head sculpt and all that. Or it doesn't even have to be WrestleMania 20, but it can be the SmackDown after with the bandana under the hat. I want to see that made. You know, I want to see 2005 Undertaker made from when he was feuding with Randy Orton. I want to see No Way Out 2006 made. You know, I want to see WrestleMania 23 made. We're missing out on a lot of Ruthless Aggression takers.
Yeah, the whole Ruthless Aggression era of the Undertaker is non-existent in the Elite Mattel.
They've only made like new generation Attitude Era and current Taker. They haven't made any Ruthless Aggression Era Taker. Yeah. They've made too many American Badass figures, in my opinion.
Yeah, they have. Yeah, they really dedicated a lot of time to the Badass era and the Ministry.
Yeah, and the Badass era wasn't my favorite era either. You know, of Taker. Like it was good. Like I loved like 2002 Big Evil Taker. Thought that heel run was tremendous. But I just, man, the Dead Man's the original to me, so I always got to go with the Dead Man.
Yeah, and I would love the Tights era Undertaker because we just need it. He did a great span of matches from 2006 to 2009, and they have no figures from this era for him. I mean, they have 2010 and on, and they have 2003 and previous.
Yeah, and those were the two best years of his career, were 2007 and 2008. So you would think they want to capitalize on that, especially like even with gear too. Like they didn't. I want them to make a SummerSlam 2008 one too from his match with Edge in the Cell. Though I thought that was a great attire that he had too with the all red.
Yeah,
I thought that looked cool. You know, like there's in obviously, like I mentioned it before, but WrestleMania 23 with the World Heavyweight title, that'd be a great figure to get in a WrestleMania line.
Yeah, I agree.
And even the Batista from WrestleMania 23, I'd love to see made too. You know?
Yeah, definitely. They have so many different various lines that they can shove him in from various looks and just, you know, be good with it.
Yeah, they could make like an infinite amount of Taker figures, and I'll
Yeah,
get
for
whatever one I can.
he contracted to the end of his time, so they have
He basically signed a lifetime deal a couple years ago, right?
basically.
So yeah, he ain't going nowhere. And I also just watched his biography a couple days ago too.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah, I don't have A&E, so I had to go to my dad's house to go watch it.
It was great. It was a great piece of documentary, so I loved it. Love what they did.
Yeah, he put it on his laptop for me. He has A&E online, and he put it on his laptop for me. And I
Nice,
watched
nice.
it there. Yeah, I don't get a lot of channels, man. I just get enough to watch Raw, SmackDown, and AEW, and that's all I care about, right? And then I got the WWE Network.
There you go.
I hope Peacock don't come here. I
Well,
don't give anybody any ideas.
as we were talking, Big Daddy V is number 3rd entrant here, standing on the Undertaker as we speak. Crazy to think that this was Mabel and Viscera. It seems like Undertaker could never escape this guy.
And unfortunately, he's passed on since this in 2014.
Yes.
So God rest his soul. But yeah, he definitely though, like I have the Mabel figure from the SummerSlam line.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm happy, and I'm happy I have it because it's a pretty cool looking figure in person.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen it in person.
I have, yes.
I bought it on my birthday a few years back, and I snagged it just because it looks so cool. It had the crown and everything, and the purple and gold. It looked awesome. So I picked it up. And you know what? Maybe we need a Viscera figure, not Big Daddy V per se, but I'd love a world's largest love machine figure.
Oh yeah, because we've had Ministry Viscera.
Yes. So from SummerSlam 2 years ago, I picked that one up too.
Oh, and Undertaker falling out of the chamber door.
Yeah, we need a world's largest love machine one with the
silk pajamas.
We need that one now. Yeah, because I already have Mabel and I have the Ministry Viscera, so I got to get the largest love machine. Got to get that one in the future. Oh yeah, Taker took a fall off them steps.
Yeah, what was it? Did Matt Striker open it?
Yeah, I don't know if the thing was supposed to open, but maybe not.
I don't know.
Maybe Matt Striker opened it. Yeah, and then that's so obscure, eh? Matt Striker was Viscera's manager back in the day.
Right?
Man, like it feels. I remember I used to have the Undertaker's Deadliest Matches DVD, and that match with him and Viscera was on there where he used the Hell's Gate for like I think it was the first time, and Matt Striker was his manager, and like even though I remember it happening, it still doesn't resonate with me that actually happened.
I remember that match live.
Yeah, I watched it live too. I think I was like 7 when that happened. And because I never watched Raw live because I had school the next day, but I always watched SmackDown. So I could only watch Raw till like 9:30 and I had to go to bed. But on Friday, I got to watch SmackDown. So that's why I think I resonate with SmackDown so much because that's what I watched as a kid. So, I watched that match live. I also watched the Taker and Khali Last Man Standing too from 2006. I think I watched that live too when Taker gave Khali his best match ever. And notice something rare too. Batista's wearing wrist tape here, which he very rarely wears.
Yeah, and the open elbow pads.
Yeah, some new look for Batista here. I never remember him wearing wrist tape other than this match, and I've watched like pretty much every Batista match since like the dawn of time.
Mm-hmm.
All right, who's coming out next? Khali. You think Taker liked working with Khali?
I have no idea. Like as Bruce Pritchard said, he was better than Gonzalez. So I'm guessing he's got some points there.
It wasn't too bad when he started in 2006, but then I don't know like if he got injured or his leg was messed up or his hip was messed up. But I mean, like Taker gave him a good match at the Last Man Standing in 2006.
I mean, the only thing that I can see that supports Undertaker liking working with him is he's always working with them.
That's true. Yeah, I guess if Taker has enough power is to say, hey, if I hate working with him, I ain't gonna do it. So, but I mean, the thing is too, it's like I remember watching Khali in New Japan when he was wrestling in Japan before WWE, and he was hopping the ropes, man. He was like leaping over them, and I couldn't believe it. Like I honestly could not believe it. I don't know if you've seen that,
Oh no, I haven't.
but Kali wrestled in New Japan in 2001, and he was hopping the ropes in one lead, dude, and taking bumps and all that. And I couldn't believe it was Kali. And I
Wow,
was
I
like,
can't
man,
believe
like
it's
I don't
Philly
know.
either.
Yeah, and he did it. I don't know if like his legs gave out on him or what it was, but he could move when he was younger. And then I just think because he's so big, it took a toll. You know, it's like when you're that big, man, you physically are limited.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Like, like even if you're like over 6 feet, you know, like if you're like 6'5", like you're limited to an extent. Except if like in very rare instances, you know, are you not limited? Like Taker wasn't limited, but he was one of the lucky ones. You know, a lot of guys that are that big are very limited with athleticism and agility. It's hard to be big and agile.
yeah, yeah. And it took Undertaker, a long time for it to catch up to him. Like
Yes,
30 years.
it took him until like the age of 50
Yeah, it
for it
took
to like really start
30
showing.
something years after wrestling
It's
till like he feels it because of the surgeries and the injuries and everything else like that.
Yeah, I mean, you start to feel it no matter how big you are, but for Taker to only start feeling it at 50, you know, that's something because most people his size would be done in their late 30s, early 40s. And he did it till he was 55, 54. And that was, you know, and that's something.
Yeah.
And he could probably still do it now if he decided to come back, but I mean,
Probably, he's got, he probably has a long time to rehab and work out and
oh, there goes Matt Striker. Is that Matt Striker?
no, it's
That's
Kyle.
not Matt Striker. Oh yeah, Rajan Singh. Sorry, I thought that was Matt Striker for a second.
Yeah, because Big Daddy V's gone, so Stryker should be gone.
Oh, here we go. Hell's Gate's coming up to Kali.
Okay, so Kylie's gonna be gone.
Yeah, this is back when the Hell's Gate was like the most protected finish. Yeah, there we go. Kali's out. And like, dude, like speaking of size, like I'm 240 pounds, but I'm 5'8", right? So it's like I'm like a mix of both. It's like I'm agile to some extent, but I don't even know at my weight how long I'm gonna last when I get in the ring. You know, it's like I might have to shred down a little bit as I get older, but I mean, we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, yeah. You'll know when you start training for that and everything.
Yeah, next year I'm gonna have to figure it out and see.
Yeah.
Like I know athletically what I can do, but I don't want to be one of these guys that just does 1,000 backflips, right? Because then I'm gonna be just like everybody else. So, you know, and you're not gonna be able to do that when you're 40 years old.
Yeah.
So I kind of want to take Undertaker's approach where it's like you fit your style with your personality,
Mm.
and then you adapt as time goes on. Because
Sure.
he's the perfect guy that adapted and never got stale, you know. So he knew how to adapt to every person's style. Like he could have a brawl with Batista, he could have a great story-based match with Edge, he could have a great brawl with Triple H. He could tell a good story and have a slugfest with Mick Foley. He could have great technical matches with Kurt Angle. You know, he could wrestle with anybody.
Mhm.
So that's what made Taker so good, and that's kind of how I want to be. I don't want to be a guy that's limited, right? I want to be able to adapt. And Taker is the best at adapting. Him and Kurt Angle, I think, are the two best. Kurt Angle in ring wise is probably the best at adapting, but adapting overall, Taker's the goat, as I should say. I don't say goat often, but he is the goat.
Now we're down to final two. We got Finley next. Very odd that they would keep MVP to the last.
I thought, as a kid, I thought they were going to keep Kali.
Oh, jumping big boot right out of the gate.
Boom.
It was interesting that they got rid of Kali. It gives us Undertaker, Batista fighting for at least a minute and a half, 2 minutes before the next person, which you don't really get a lot. Usually they tend to keep everybody in the ring nowadays before any eliminations happen.
Yeah, they make it like a big cluster and then they just eliminate everybody left, right, and center within 5 minutes.
Yeah.
That's what I've seen in a lot of like elimination matches in the last few years is that they have like, it depends on what match, but like say if it's a chamber, they'll have all 6 people in the ring and then they'll all get eliminated within a few minutes of each other. Like just like that.
And Celtic Cross to the Undertaker.
Underrated move. Sheamus uses that now. Fellow Irishman. Speaking of Sheamus, I can't believe Sheamus and Taker never had a program.
Oh yeah.
That would have been good. That's something I'm surprised they never did. They tagged.
Yeah. Yeah.
But they never. I think the closest they ever got to like facing each other was a dark match on Raw with the Cena.
That makes sense.
Yeah, they did a dark match, cage match, right? I think that's what I remember. But that they never did a singles. So that would have been a cool match to have done. Taker and Bryan's another one too.
Well, Sheamus is always a contender, just in case Undertaker comes back.
I wouldn't mind that. Sheamus is one of the best wrestlers in the world.
Because I know Undertaker, if he chooses anybody, it's going to be some kind of veteran that's there.
Oh yeah, if he comes back, it's going to be like a Sheamus or AJ Styles or Edge or Randy Rollins. Yeah, it'll be one of them guys. It'll be somebody that's been around the block for a while.
Yeah, somebody's been at least 10 years or something.
Yeah, Rollins and Taker would be a great match. He faced everyone in the Shield but Seth Rollins.
Yeah.
So it would have been cool.
That's a story right there.
Yeah. It would have been better if he would have beat Roman Reigns at WrestleMania and you could have told the story that he took down everybody in the Shield but Seth Rollins and then done that feud. That would have been cool. But
yeah.
But they had to have him lose at WrestleMania. So, I mean, they ruined that story. But no, Taker and Rollins is a match I think that would have been excellent because Rollins is an acrobatic worker and Taker works great with guys that are acrobatic workers. So I think him and Rollins would have had a really good match. That's a WrestleMania match right there. I actually thought it was going to be Taker this year for Rollins' open challenge. I really thought it was. I thought it was going to be Taker. If it wasn't going to be Cody Rhodes, I thought it was going to be Taker.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I mean, granted, I was happy when it was Cody Rhodes, but in the back of my mind, I was like, I think it could be Taker realistically, especially after the Hall of Fame speech. I went, ooh, yeah, it might be Taker.
This is when you can pin people outside the ring in the Elimination Chamber.
And you should still be able to do that. I love the whole way that the old chamber looked. It had a great look to it. Here goes Taker through the plexiglass, or I should say plastic, because it's really plastic, but they'll tell you it's plexiglass. Yeah, there's so many.
First one, I think only the first one was actual glass.
Yeah. I think, was it Jericho that went through it?
I think so. I think it was Jericho.
Yeah, the first chamber was great though. Man, that was a
The first one, I think that's the only one they had with glass.
Yeah, and I think they learned their lesson with that one.
Yeah.
And then Triple H took the frog splash and crushed his throat. Remember that?
Yeah.
From RVD, because RVD couldn't jump high enough, no pun intended. But
well, yeah, because you're right at the top.
Yeah, so he thought he could get distance and he didn't, and just had to plummet down. Here comes
MVP.
Yeah, I think they made it taller though after that because Taker and MVP did that spot on the top.
Undertaker's smart. He's just waiting there.
Oh yeah, and he's holding it back just to pry it open to get MVP. MVP was a really underrated worker back in the day, man. I really enjoyed his work. Oh man, Taker's just pummeling him. Taker specifically took MVP and Kennedy under his wing in the ruthless aggression era and tried the hands-on work with those guys.
Well, it makes sense with that MVP and Kennedy feud between the brothers. I remember that.
I like that. I liked Kennedy too.
Well, that makes one of us.
I did. I liked Kennedy's feud with Taker. I thought they had a good feud in 06. Remember that nasty chair shot he took too? That's right.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Man, especially what we know about CTE now. I look at that chair shot and I go, oof. Man. But Taker liked him though, and Taker liked MVP as well. He liked working with those guys.
We should be getting the MVP spot soon.
Pretty soon.
Because I think Finlay pins MVP after it.
Well, like I said too, with that spot, I think they made after the RVD thing with Triple H, I think they made the chamber a bit taller.
Well, yeah, I guess because they
Yeah.
usually do that whenever there's a spot they want and it doesn't go as planned, they always increase it so they can do it again.
Well, because if they would have done this spot with MVP in 2002, he wouldn't have been able to flip over because the chamber was too short. Ballin'.
Still has that chain now.
Boom. Oh, Taker's got the crimson mask. Well, close, but oh, there he goes after Fit Finley. Finley was another underrated worker too. It was a fun chamber match for what it was.
Yeah, was this Batista's first chamber as well?
New Year's Revolution 05, I think, was his first one.
Oh, okay. I was gonna
Yes.
say this would have been everybody's first chamber.
Yeah, because he did the one in January of 05 with Triple H, Jericho, Edge, Benoit, and Randy Orton,
Oh, okay.
with Shawn as the referee. Yeah, that's an all-time great chamber match.
Here it comes.
Oh, yeah, here it is. I think this was was this the last chamber match Batista ever did too?
That I don't know.
Because I know
The following year is when he beats. Isn't that 2 years? 2 years from now is when he beats Cena after the end for the title.
2009 he was injured.
Okay, yeah. So this was his last one, I think.
Yeah, I think this was his second and last, I believe. Oh, yeah, there's the spot and Finley pins MVP. There we
Yeah,
go.
Finley pins him.
Yeah, and then they're selling that MVP's injured. That was a great spot, though.
Well, he just gets chokeslammed from the top. He should be injured.
Yeah, imagine somebody kicks out of that. Yeah, I don't think anybody should be kicking out of stuff like that unless if you're Taker, you're Lesnar, maybe. And Taker with a rare elbow drop.
That missed.
Yeah.
He never connects with those when he's at the top of the turnbuckle or anywhere. He never connects with the
He
elbow.
tried
drop.
with Shawn at Mania 25 and didn't do it either. Good match though.
Oh yeah.
Hornswoggle. I love chamber matches. Always have. Let's see, Finley's gonna take the Batista bomb. Nope. Boom, Shillelagh to the end.
Oh,
Sheamus uses the Shillelagh now.
does he?
Yeah.
Hmm. That's it.
Boom, choke slam on the steel. And that was actual steel. Now they have padding in that.
Yeah. Now they have padding.
That probably did hurt though.
Oh, I imagine. Because a regular choke slam on the mat hurts.
So imagine what it's like with no protection.
So now we are down to the two men that started the match. We are back down to The Undertaker and Batista.
And he fell too. It wasn't like Taker broke his fall either. Like he fell back first. Onto the grate, steel grate. This was right before they went to the PG era, right?
I don't know, but I don't know when they do the PG. 2009?
Summer of 08, I believe. And this was winter of 08 or spring of 08, depending on where you live. So I think this was still Ruthless Aggression.
This is February of 08, so they're not there yet.
So I think this is still Ruthless Aggression. That's why they're still openly bleeding at this stage. Because if this was PG era, they wouldn't have let them do it. Because Taker and Edge were supposed to have color in their cell match, and they weren't allowed to do it. Edge wanted to get color, and they didn't want it because they just went to the PG era.
Oh, makes sense.
That's why Taker and Edge didn't have. Well, I mean, Edge was bleeding from his shoulder, but I mean, like in terms of intentional color, they weren't supposed to. Here we go, a slugfest between.
Much like the WrestleMania counter, the crowd cheering and booing.
Oh man, I love that match. I loved all their matches, but I think the Mania 23 and the Backlash ones are my favorite. Well, here we go. Batista bomb. Yeah, is he gonna get him? Boom! Taker always sold the Batista bomb good too.
But Batista cannot pin him in time.
No, still feeling the effects of the shillelagh to the head. Boom, Taker kicked out.
Imagine this is the second match on the show. You're already so hyped.
Yeah, this should have been the main event, especially for this final two. I think this should have been on last. But the other chamber match was good too, though, the Raw one. That was a good one too. Jeff Hardy was over, man, at that time.
Well, Jeff Hardy's always been over.
Yeah, that's true. In 08 though, like man, he was like how it was for like Kofi Mania. Like when they did that, like just red hot.
Hmm.
And then he finally won the belt. Jeff Hardy did at the end of the year, but I mean, like I remember the chamber match that they had on the same show, and the crowd was going nuts for Jeff Hardy to win, and then he lost at the end to Triple H.
Everybody hates Triple H. Everybody shits on Triple H.
He was a great worker though. Like him and Undertaker always had kick-ass matches. There are three WrestleMania matches, I should say, but they're two consecutive Mania matches are two of my favorites ever.
Yeah.
I was at the theater for both of them as a kid, man. I'll never forget how they made me emotionally feel in those matches.
Just slugging away at Batista now.
Nobody's got right hands like Taker. Taker really brought the best out of Batista, though. Like Batista, you could tell was 100% motivated working with Taker. Oh.
No.
Finish is coming soon.
Yeah, coming soon.
Triple H and Taker were Batista's two best opponents.
Oh, definitely.
Those two brought out the best in him. And Batista was a great worker back in the day too. But like for some reason, those two guys he had immaculate chemistry with. I even like the black chain link on the chamber. It makes it look so cool because it's different from every other cage that WWE's used.
Here we go. Oh, no, not yet. I think he does it one more time, and then the third one he gets it.
Like the steel cage is silver, the cell's silver, was silver. And the and the chamber has the black link, which looks really cool. All right, I think it's coming.
Try it a second time. No, here we go. Here we go. One of the best.
What a finish.
One of the best tombstones ever.
Hell yeah. And that's a wrap.
So yeah.
Still a great finish to this day.
And The Undertaker wins the #1 contendership to challenge the World Heavyweight Champion Edge at WrestleMania. And of course, we know how great of a match that turns out to be.
One of the best Mania main events.
As the Undertaker Edge feud officially kicks off.
Man, I remember this like it was yesterday.
Yeah.
And I was just a kid. This is what my childhood was. This stuff right here.
And if I remember correctly, Undertaker points to the WrestleMania sign.
Yeah. Which he didn't do at the Royal Rumble 2007.
He does not. No, he looks at it.
Yeah. I've never been a fan of pointing at the sign. I don't know. To me, it's just, I don't know. Not something I would do, but I mean, some other people might do it. I just find it, I don't know. I find it kind of corny to like, I don't know. It's just, I don't know. It doesn't resonate with me. It feels forced when you point at it because everybody does it. That's why I liked when Taker won the Rumble in 07, he just stared at it. It's all he needed to do.
Yeah, I thought he was gonna do the pose to it.
Yeah, that would have been cool too. Sometimes less is more, right? And Taker's a perfect example of that.
And that's a wrap on the Elimination Chamber 2008. So now we head to the final encounter. The
Yep.
TLC 2009 pay-per-view, the chairs match, to be more specific, for the Undertaker and Batista. And for just like what mirrors their first encounter, it is once again for the World Heavyweight Championship. So it's a championship that both men have continued to chase throughout all these years of the rivalry. It seems like the World Heavyweight Championship was always like the thing always in the middle of here. And again, it proves it once again, as the championship is on the line in the chairs match. But instead of Batista walking into it as champion, the Undertaker walks in to the final encounter as champion. So before this match gets started, any memories of this pay-per-view or this match?
Oh man, yeah, I remember the finish. Just like the No Way Out. I remember the finish being like, okay, so what truly happened, and then what we found out happened. And I remember too that this was the last time they ever faced off. So
Yeah.
kind of poetic in a way.
It becomes the last time they face off, because Batista leaves the company in less than 4 months.
Yep.
From here, he starts his feud with John Cena, and that John Cena feud takes him through WrestleMania, through Extreme Rules, and that's where it finishes him off. Finishes him off with John Cena in 2010, and then he comes back in 2014, wins the Royal Rumble, goes on to WrestleMania 30, loses the triple threat match, and then...
And selfishly, as a fan, I wish he would have stuck around because I enjoyed his work, but things happen, right? And people got to move on. And this was the last time they ever encountered each other in the ring, and I think they went out with a bang. So
definitely.
A chairs match is hard to do, though, right? Like, I mean, it's a pretty limiting stipulation. So
yeah, especially that everything is barred except chairs, as that will come in handy as we get to the finish. That it's basically a normal match. Everything is against the rules unless it's a chair.
Yeah.
You can't.
I was never a fan of these stipulations.
Yes, that's the only stipulation, that you cannot use any other type of weapon. You cannot use any type of dirty tactic, any other type of move set that will get you disqualified in a normal match.
I didn't like that stipulation. To me, it was too limiting.
So I am at 1 hour, 36 minutes, 16 seconds. Undertaker is about to remove his hat and get the match started. So let me know when you are queued up, and we will hit play.
All right, let's do it.
Okay, so 3, 2, 1, play. And here we go. The big gold belt on the Undertaker.
My favorite belt ever. My favorite looking belt.
Oh yeah, especially on the Undertaker. It looks amazing.
Oh yeah, it's a great belt.
Undertaker is 2.5 months into his championship reign, defeating such opponents as CM Punk, Rey Mysterio, Chris Jericho, Big Show, Batista beforehand.
Yep.
So he is on a roll.
Yeah, this was an underrated run.
Having great pay-per-view championship matches.
Yeah, this was a super underrated run for Taker as champion. It's too bad he never had like a really, really long run with the title.
I agree.
He should have.
I'm glad they gave him close to 6 months with the title in this reign. So it's good.
His 2002 reign was awesome too. I wish it would have lasted a bit longer.
Oh yeah, I wish that one would have lasted much longer.
Like I wish he would have kept it until he dropped it to Brock instead of The Rock dropping it to Brock. It would have been cool if Taker would have dropped it to Brock like in the Hell in a Cell match or something.
And Batista going right away for the chairs.
Yeah, it was this his longest world title run? This one right here?
I think this one just beats the 97 run.
Yeah, because the 97 one was from WrestleMania 13 to SummerSlam 97. Right?
Yeah, it was close to 4 months. And I think this one squeaks in at like 5.5.
That was an underrated run too when he dropped it to Brett.
Yeah. Having so many great matches with Farouk, Vader, Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yeah, the Canadian against Vader was good. Yeah, agreed, man. I wish that run would have lasted longer too. I kind of wish he wouldn't have dropped the title to Brett, and he could have just beat Brett at Survivor Series instead of Shawn, and just kept the belt the entire time.
Right. We wouldn't have had 20 years of salty Hart if he would have been the one to beat Hart at Survivor Series.
Brett said he would have dropped it to him.
Well, he would have drafted anybody except Michaels.
Hell yeah, he would even dropped it to me if I was there.
He would have drafted to the camera guy.
It's true. That's true. But you know what though? I think they should.
But then we wouldn't have 25 years of screw job lore that everybody talks about.
Well, I mean, I think they should have known better than to have had him drop it to Shawn, knowing that was going to happen. But you know, they should have had him drop it to Austin or Taker. And then Kane could have screwed Taker at the next pay-per-view for the title. And then you could have got the belt on Shawn.
Oh, sure.
Afterward. Because I'm sure Taker
would. At the Rumble.
Yeah. Like you could have had.
What would have happened? Like what happened?
Yeah. So like small fantasy booking here, ladies and gentlemen. But well, what you could have had, okay, is Brett drops the title to Taker in Montreal. And then you have the exact same casket match where Kane screws Taker. And then Shawn wins the title. He does whatever he does and goes and drops the title to Austin at Mania. And then you still have the Taker and Kane match. And you don't have Brett bitter, and Brett can come back a year or two later, which he probably would have anyway. So
probably would have.
Boom. There you go. Everybody wins. Shawn goes and becomes born again. Taker and Kane have their great program. And Brett's not screwed. So there you go. Oh, that's always a dangerous spot when they're digging the chair in the throat. Taker does that too, like where he puts the chair under your throat and he slams it down. That's a great
spot. The guillotine.
Yeah, he did that to Viscera and Brock, I believe.
That's Hulk Hogan at Judgment Day.
Yeah.
Where JR famously said Hulkamania may not be dead, but by God, it's on life support.
Hey, remember that choke slam he gave Hogan?
I just talked about that on my Oh, Hogan, where would we be without your fucking ass? Oh, Hogan.
I can't grow a handlebar mustache, by the way, but
don't sell yourself short on that.
Too young. I can grow a beard, but I can't grow the full mustache. Maybe in the future.
Maybe.
Yeah. I don't think it'd suit me anyway. So I'm not a biker.
Oh, I'm swinging a miss on the post.
I love the guillotine leg drop though. I like those tights Taker has on too, like with the Death Angel. It looks.
Oh yeah, yeah.
He didn't wear those for long though. He only wore them for like a year.
Yeah, I think he wears it when he comes back at. I think he wears it at Hell in a Cell 09 to his rivalry ending with Kane. So yeah, but yeah.
Yeah, and then he went back to like more of a WrestleMania 23 attire for 2011.
Yes, with the skulls. Yes.
Yeah, like the silver skulls, I believe he had. Oh, Taker almost fell off that turnbuckle. I kind of like the stage where they had like the chairs and the ladders and the tables kind of suspended on the rafters. They don't do
Yes, I noticed that.
like they don't do cool stuff like that anymore. I don't know why, but
No.
like every stage is like Raw or SmackDown now.
Yes. It's been that way for a few years now, I think.
Since like 2015, I think 2014. I think ever since the advent of the network, they started just doing away with pay-per-view exclusive stages.
Yeah, I think 2015. I think you might be right.
Around that time, yeah, 2014, 2015. It's too bad because I always look forward to cool pay-per-view stages. Now they just do it like Raw or SmackDown, just a big LED screen, which to me is bland. Like it's okay for a show here and there, but like to have it on a pay-per-view stage, it's kind of a letdown. But I get it, budget, right?
Oh yeah, of course, because then they could just take that from town to town.
It's true, right? And I mean, even though they're as profitable as they've ever been, it would be cool to have some kind of cool effort put in for pay-per-view stages. Like my favorite stage ever outside of Mania stages is the Armageddon stage. It's just so cool.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. The Backlash one with the spikes, I like that one.
That was great. Yeah, the King of the Ring 2001 set was awesome.
Oh yes, the giant electric chair.
Yeah, that was a great set. Man, there was like there's just so many, like the Royal Rumble 2000.
Ooh, backdrop on the chair.
And now they're a slugfest again. Taker and Batista always had some legendary slugfest. Just spine buster. Boom, man, Batista. Spine buster. Got to into it there.
You good?
Oh yeah. Just fell off my computer. I'm not a tech savvy person, as you can see. Yeah, I hit it off I touched my table.
You're a little too aggressive over there.
Yeah, I was having fun, man. Got a monster in me and a cup of coffee and
Little more down.
a little more down, yeah.
More down.
Complications of botches. Yeah, there we go. The king of botches right here. All right. Now I got to be calm. I was getting too into this match.
Yeah. Batista is feeling the wear and tear already of the chairs and the Undertaker's back body drops.
You should put that in the comments. Keegan makes a big botch. Stay tuned.
It's a regular botchamania.
Yeah, put me on botchamania for this, not me in the ring. On this, I don't care. Go ahead, get some views if it gets any. I just invested in this webcam not too long ago. I think my phone wasn't doing me any good. Here comes old school. Boom. I wasn't gonna do the thing, but it did knock over my camera.
Be careful now.
Yeah, I gotta be. Yeah. Hands are up. Hey, this is when Batista got some new tattoos as well. Around this time, he went the full tribal on the arms.
Yeah. Irish whipping him into the post. Snake eyes.
Coward.
Oh, spear. Oh. Ooh, that was close.
Do you guys still have ads on Peacock for these matches?
Yes, we still have ads.
Man, that just ruins the whole flow of the match. The whole
But not in between a match. It's like after each match ends or begins.
That still sucks.
Yeah, no, because if you're skipping trying to get to a match, you don't know exactly where you are. You have to get to like 3 ads until you find it.
I'd rather pay the $15 to have no ads than just freaking pay what do you guys pay, like $3, $5, something like that?
It's free. It's free with mine because I'm an Xfinity customer, so I don't pay nothing.
Oh, okay. Because I know from
I'd rather pay nothing than something.
That's true, right? I'm one of the cheapest people you'll ever meet.
Oh, here we go. Hell's Gate.
But I ain't gonna cheap out on the network though. I need this. My entertainment, man. Love how Taker just casually throws the chair as he's laying down selling.
Batista has not tapped out to his Hell's Gate.
No, has Batista besides ever has Batista ever tapped out besides to John Cena?
I have no idea.
Because that's the only time I can ever think of Batista tapping.
I'm not a Batista match connoisseur.
Because I've watched a lot of matches, and I think the only one I remember was him tapping out Cena at Mania in 2010, 26. Yeah, he did never tap the Taker, though.
People with their digital cameras.
Oh, he tapped to Bryan Danielson, too, at WrestleMania 30. Forgot about that.
Oh, he tapped?
Yeah, it was Batista that tapped. I almost forgot about his entire second run. Sorry, Dave. Boom! Clothesline.
Oh, Batista set up that chair and he gets the chair.
It's a great lariat. And Lil Nate's is the referee.
Oh, again, almost.
He's goozled, as Taz would say. Choke slam, pow. It's got to be it. Oh my God, is it? Damn it, no. I'm trying to be JR, can't do it.
Nobody can be JR.
Son of a bitch.
Choke slam.
He may be a no good bastard, but he's a human being.
Oh, how can he's kicking out of everything Taker's throwing at him.
Batista always kicks out everything Taker throws at him, except for 2 tombstones later. He usually kicks out of the first tombstone. Oh, low blow. Taking the cheap way out.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, against.
Here's the false finish, as I call it. Boom! Over the head chair shot. That was rare for the PG era.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, it was protected, but.
And you think it's over.
Yeah, they should. I wouldn't have done this part though. I don't think this needed to happen. But I mean, I get what they were going for, but
just to make it sound like, it's like Batista was always getting screwed or something. I think that was the thing.
Even though he was the heel, he thought he was getting screwed.
Yeah, he thinks that like Teddy Long was always against them or something.
So then Vince brings him the Raw to beat up Cena. No, player. I love Teddy Long, man.
Everybody loves Teddy Long.
How can't you? Best GM ever. You're gonna be in a tag team match, then 1-on-1 with the Undertaker. I'm not good at impressions.
I can tell.
But hey, I can do Arnold though, man. Peter Griffin. I can do them too, but I can't do anybody else. Love Teddy.
Is Teddy Long gonna restart this match, player?
In a tag team match. A tag team match and I'm 1-on-1 with the Undertaker. Love Teddy.
He's restarting this match, player.
I miss him on weekly TV, man. He brought so much personality and so much charisma. He was the definition of a perfect GM.
Undertaker's up and Batista's down.
Yeah. Man. Teddy Long, though, like I said, was the perfect general manager.
I know he was.
It's just incredible.
Scooped into a tombstone.
There you go. There's your winner. Taker remains as world champion and heads into the Royal Rumble against Mysterio.
Classic.
The
crowd is out of it. Undertaker loses. They restart the match. Undertaker's back up, and it's over.
At least Taker kept the belt around this time.
It's a creative way to restart the match.
Well, because it's a chairs match with weapons, but then you're not supposed to use it a low blow, which is
You're not supposed to use the low blow, which distracted the Undertaker long enough for Batista can use the chair and knock him out. So I can see it. Decision has been reversed.
That's a hard stipulation to work around. Like even tables matches are hard to work around, and I'm gonna suck at doing those kind of matches.
And Undertaker disappearing into the fog. Still, your world heavyweight champion.
Here you go. I got to be careful to not swing too much or my camera is going to go flying.
Well, that's okay. We are near the end of this program as we have officially finished the Undertaker Batista rivalry. We have gone through a Royal Rumble. We have gone through 2 No Way Outs. We have gone through a WrestleMania, a Cyber Sunday, a Backlash, a SmackDown, a Survivor Series.
And the kitchen sink.
Everything. Armageddon, Chambers, Last Man Standing matches, championship matches. We have gone through it all. And we have finished here at the Undertaker and Batista TLC 2009. They put the final nail into the rivalry casket. And any parting words, any parting feelings on the Undertaker Batista rivalry as we close the book?
Part of me is saying, thank God it's over, so we can get to something new. But the other part of me is saying, man, I'm gonna miss in time rewatching these matches, because I know for a while I'm not gonna watch them again. But then in a few years' time, I'm gonna be like, man, I really miss watching Taker and Batista. And then I'm gonna go back and rewatch the whole series again. So, but like the fan in me right now misses these two guys in their prime still going at it. But it was probably my favorite rivalry of the Ruthless Aggression era and my favorite rivalry as a kid. This one, because it wasn't about who is the babyface and who is the heel. It was just two alphas of their kind going at it and just wanting to be the top dog on the company, and specifically SmackDown. So I like that rivalry. It was like 2 anti-heroes going at it, and like, I don't know, if I can compare it to Captain Marvel and Black Adam, that's kind of what Taker Batista reminded me of.
Interesting.
Yeah, just 2 anti-heroes that aren't good, but they're, well, I mean, Captain Marvel's kind of a babyface, but Black Adam's an anti-hero. So it's like two people who are similar but different, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Like, and
I always love a good comic book reference, and that's a good one.
Hey, you want me to bring comics on here? I got a whole bunch sitting back.
I always love a good comic book reference. As I've said on episodes beforehand, Undertaker is, a good comic book character come to life on the wrestling screen. He is.
They should make like new Undertaker comics that have evolved from the Attitude Era, because I knew they had them back then.
But yes, they did.
Man, they should make a new line of those. That'd be.
Yes, they did.
I heard they're making a Rey Mysterio one. I don't know how true that is, but
really,
yeah, I'll be buying it. But I want to see a Taker one redone, and that'd be pretty sick. Because Taker, like you said, is a great comic book character.
Yes,
and he'd fit perfect, man, as like the anti-hero of a comic story. So
yes,
keep that in mind, WWE, if you're watching. So
I couldn't have put it better myself. It is an amazing rivalry. I have loved every second of taking this trip down memory lane with you. As Batista rivalry was my childhood. It was, I loved watching it play out again with somebody to commentate with me to go through these matches, as we will do so again next time as we take a look at, and it's up to you, Creatures of the Night. On my poll, I will be putting up on Twitter at CollectUpDead and on Instagram at CollectingDeadMan sometime within the next couple weeks. You will decide, where should we go from here? Should we take a trip back to the 1990s as The Undertaker faces an old rival in Mankind? Shall he take it back to 2005 and face Randy Orton? Should we take it to the future and take it to Edge? The power is in your hands as the Undertaker's rivals are endless. Of course, the only one off the market is Kane, as I am currently doing Kane. But the choice is in your hands. Would it be Edge, Randy Orton, Mankind, Triple H? It's up to you. And that's where the next book will be written. And Keegan, anything you would like to promote before we sign off here?
You can follow me on Twitch at KeeganRW Gaming. You can follow me on Twitter at KeeganRW. And if you want to listen to my interview with Michael Landsberg, you can put that in on YouTube at KeeganRW. I try to keep it all the same so it's not as confusing. So I don't use my YouTube that much, guys. I only have my interview with Landsberg on it. But if you want to give that a view, it discusses mental health awareness. It discusses mental illness in the world of professional wrestling and things in that nature.
Oh, great.
Give that a view. It's a very great interview. Michael Landsberg, if for those who don't know him, has interviewed almost every wrestling legend in the business, from The Undertaker to Bret Hart to Shawn Michaels to Triple H to Kurt Angle, all those guys, Chris Jericho, Christian, all those guys. They've been interviewed. Piper, Bobby Heenan, they've all been interviewed by Michael Landsberg, and they're all available on YouTube as well. So I'm proud to call him a fellow Canadian, and hopefully in the future we can get Michael Landsberg back on the show and get that YouTube thing going, even though I don't know how to run it that well.
Great. Yes, definitely take a look at Keegan's interview with Michael Landsberg. Follow him on Twitch. Follow him on Twitter. He is a great
subscribe to this channel too first before you do any of that other stuff.
He's a great follower and a great friend. And yes, please subscribe to the Collecting Dead Man podcast, as I'm available at anywhere your podcast platforms. I am available on YouTube at Collecting Dead Man, on Twitter at Collect Up Dead, on Instagram at Collecting Dead Man. And as we close the book on the Undertaker Batista rivalry, I still hope that you will be here with us next time. Same Taker time, same Taker channel, as we keep on rolling, baby. And as always, thank you, Keegan, for this trip down memory lane with Batista. And I look forward to what the creatures of the night have in store for us next time.
My pleasure.